What's up, man? How's it going?
America has had its knee on the neck of black people in this country for over 400 years. And as a result of it, we couldn't breathe. But not just breathe in a physical sense, but also in a spiritual sense. We can't breathe in our workplaces. We can't even breathe in our cars. We can't breathe in banks. We can't breathe in hospitals. In every institution in this country, we can't breathe. And it's time for us to be able to breathe, because the opposite of inspiration is what? Expiration. And expiration is death. And inspiration is life. So in order to have life, you got to be able to breathe. And if you say you can't breathe, then that means you're dead. So if you're not using your breath to fight for righteousness, then you're dead. So today you have shown that you are very much alive. May God bless you, man, for being alive today, man. May God bless you.
I think, all right, now that was good enough for us here. But let's, so everybody else can, I said, let's give it up for Councilman Basheer Jones. That's your name, man.
Love you, Basheer. Love you.
I am so inspired today to see all of these young faces and young men here leading this event. And so I want to hurry up and just let you all know that the Cleveland Clergy Coalition is proud to be a part of what you all are doing. It is time for the young people to keep us engaged, and you all are doing a fantastic job. Some of us, like Bishop Minor, have been doing this a very long time, and it is so inspiring to see your young faces and to see our young leaders.
I'm here to do something.
2 minutes and I'm out of the way, right? One of the things about Dr. King, every movement he had ended up in public policy. Somebody say public policy.
Public policy.
I'm an alpha, a Morehouse man. I know about social change. Say social change.
Social change.
We are here for police reform. Every movement King was in, when they went to Montgomery, ended in the Public Accommodations Act. When they went to Birmingham, ended up in the Civil Rights Act. When they went to Selma, ended up in the Voting Rights Act. When they went to Memphis, the Poor People's Campaign ended up in HUD, a Fair Housing Act. It was about changing public policy. Right. We are here to light your torch. Turn around to somebody that's young and look at them and say, this is your day. This is your day. This is your day.
This is your day.
Right? We have to organize and we have to agitate. I want you to say one thing 3 times. Say agitate.
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 All right. Next up, man, we could not do this. This could not happen without my fraternity brothers, man. They were the first group that I called was my fraternity brothers, Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I called them brothers, man. Brother Cliff, Councilman Franklin, man, Joe, and I called these brothers, and they just jumped to it, man. And I'm telling them, my brothers, man, I want to speak to you directly to let you know, man, how much I love y'all, man. This is what the Jews, right, Theo, man? This is what the Jews, man, wanted, man. Our Jews was revolutionaries. They created an organization during the time when black men was getting lynched, man. So if we not out here doing this work, then we're not fulfilling what the Jews, man, wanted us to do. So I wanted to bring up our new president of Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Delta Alpha Lambda chapter, Brother Lester Holmes, man.
Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
As you said, my name is Lester Holmes. President of Alpha Lambda chapter, Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated. We came here today to show the Cleveland community that for the men of black and gold gold, black lives definitely matter.
Yes, sir.
There was a gentleman by the name of John Morrow, and John Morrow was part of a project to interview slaves. Now, this was done in the 1930s and 1940s. And Dan Rather asked him, what was one lesson, one thing that you could carry away with you from this project? And what the man said was that he had his Damascus moment, his moment where it made him fall off the horse. He went to the group and he was talking to an old slave. Now, this slave at the time was 104 years old. and he was interviewed around 1940. So he lived right through it. During that interview, the gentleman told the old slave that, you know, I'm one of these people that believe blacks have the right to go to school and blacks have the right to own businesses and blacks have the right to live their lives. The old slave looked at him and smiled and said, how can you give me a right that my Creator already gave me? Amen. You can deprive me from it, but you cannot give something to me that wasn't yours to give.
Bring it on now,
We
bro.
are not asking for the right to walk down the street. We are not asking for the right to drive our cars. We are not asking for black women, black children, and black men anymore. We are demanding to exercise the rights that our Creator gave us. And you are going to give us those rights. And then if you don't, if there's no justice, there'll be no peace. Thank you, brothers, for being here. The community, we are here with you. Alpha loves you. Alpha will protect you. Thank you.
That's what I want to hear my president. That's all I want to hear my president talk. That's all I want to hear my president talk. You know, within city council, it's been a serious battle. And if you've been paying attention to the political fight that we've been fighting, this brother next man that I want to bring up to the microphone is one who's been standing with me, and I've been standing with him. And we have made a commitment that we will vote no on every legislation that they bring forth, every safety legislation that they bring forth, until the administration gives us a plan around diversity for our safety forces. It don't make no sense to live in a city where it's majority African American and the majority of the police officers are white men. The majority of the fire department, 75% of the fire department is white men. 60% of the Cleveland Police Department is white men. This is a problem. Now don't get me wrong. There are a lot of people of other cultures who are doing a phenomenal job. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that it should not be a system that deprives others. We have to have communities where those community people are seeing people who look like them, who don't look like them, at least have the cultural competency to be able to serve them. Are y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
So I want to say thank you so much, man, to this brother right here who has been right with me, man, and we've been fighting, Councilman Joe Jones.
And Reverend Keith did a great job on that bullhorn. We at Reverend Keith. Raise your hand.
And Chris.
Chris. He reminded me of myself when I was about 20-some years of age, marching in Washington, D.C. against the war effort. And what I want to say today is I bring to you, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to bring to you, but I wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for Almighty God giving me the breath to speak. But to that older generation that I talk to constantly, they're so happy to see so many of you. And it gives them hope to see the younger generation engaged and involved, because the struggle moves from one generation to the next generation. And you are doing a great job being here today, protesting, and I want to also thank our white brothers and sisters who are here with us also. So let's give yourselves a great big round of applause. It is going to be your generation to finish the unfinished business of the civil rights. I'm going to say it one more time. I want you to get this. It is your generation that will have to make the decisions necessary to create the change for a greater, stronger, brighter America and a brighter future, not only for yourselves, but for other generations unyet born. This is your legacy and your challenge. And you cannot sit back and continue to be what you were before all of this happened. You must move forward. And I think my brother said something that was really powerful. He talked about the vote. The vote gives you the power to create the change you need. And it doesn't matter if it is a black person in power or a white person in power. When anyone is stealing your rights and taking away from you, when you look around and see your neighborhood dilapidated, When you see that investment in the economy is not coming into your community, when you see that you don't have the opportunities as other people, then you must hold accountable your elected officials.
That's
right. And it doesn't matter if they're black, red, yellow, blue, orange, or green, or maybe an extraterrestrial from outer space. You gotta hold them accountable.
That's right.
And you can't be afraid to hold them accountable. And that's the problem that we're in right now. And I'm saddened to my heart to be here on this planet for a space and time and to see some of our black leaders not taking care of the black community as they ought to. I'm gonna say it again. It saddens me to my heart to see that we have some of our black elected officials not taking care of our community. That's a problem. And so we have to hold them accountable. So what I share with you here today is that you're like that oak tree. And you must plant your roots and let them go deep into the ground. And no matter what the wind blows and the storm that comes by, no matter how many trees that fall, you're that oak. You're that generation that must stand. You're that generation that must dig down deep in the ground. It is your commitment and your dedication and your engagement that will create the change. All praises due to God. Black power.
Thank you so much, Councilman, man. This is so important. You know, voting no on legislation, you know, is something that you don't see city council do. Because usually you have those who are just kind of going along to get along. But now you're saying, you know what, we're not going to go along to get along. Until we see a serious plan, we will no longer accept that. I want to bring up Brother Cliff, if you can come up here for a second, man, who can speak on behalf of Congresswoman Marcia Fudge.
So on behalf of Congresswoman Fudge, I'll keep it very brief. As we were walking, I sent her a picture of us marching up the street. And she said to let the young people know that she is proud of us. She said to let the young people know that she is proud of us. She said this time it feels different. So don't give up the fight. There's an old saying that the church uses. I don't feel no ways tired. I've come too far from where I've started from. Nobody told me the road would be easy, but I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me. Yesterday we celebrated Juneteenth. 400 years ago, the slaves in Texas found out that they were free. But as we say, we're free-ish. It is time for us to continue to step up to the plate, to step up to our call, and fight for freedom. And as our 7 jewels said of Alpha Phi Alpha, Jewel Verder, Woods, and Tandy, we will fight on ice. We will fight till hell freezes over. And if it freezes over, we will fight on ice. Keep fighting.
Today we march. Yesterday we celebrated. Tomorrow we work. I want to say to my brothers, my Alpha Phi Alpha brothers, you know that we are first of all servants of all, we shall transcend all, right? So that's why we're here. There's no mystery that we are the ones leading this fight. And for those of us who understand we are fathers, we understand that we cannot wait another day. It will be our son. Desmond Franklin was our son. He was our brother. And to some of these kids, he was a father. So I want you to understand that marching and yelling is great, but we need to put in the work. And I'm going to tell you how we're going to do that. I can sit here and tell you about where the case is going. I can tell you all about the facts, but I'm not going to. That's a waste of my time at this point. As you very well know, I'm the managing partner of the Cochran firm here in Cleveland, and we will get to work. We will be resilient, and we will do it the Alpha way. I want you to know that I'm a Cleveland guy. I'm a black male, and I'm an Alpha. So I'm convicted 3 times. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 times. I'm a Christian man. But I want you to understand the work will be put in. But the real work comes from you guys. We can sue them all we want. We can get a big settlement. But the work comes in when you decide that today is the last day where you're going to take this. The last day where we're going to sit aside. We have, how many councilmen? No, how many are on the we have 17 councilmen, right? In the city of Cleveland. We're just counting the city of Cleveland. And how many can we see here? 2. How many are holding the police legislation voting no? 2. They are by themselves. And the council, if you live in the city of Cleveland, council in your ward is not standing with them. What is he telling you? Your black life doesn't matter. That's what he's telling you. He's telling you your black vote doesn't matter. You know why? Because he would stand with them in fear that you would vote him out. And so I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're not with us, you're against us. We're not asking anymore, we're demanding. And I'm telling you, we're not going to stop until we get what we want. Now I'm going to tell you what we want and what we need. We need councilmen. We need politicians that are going to represent us fairly and make sure that they legislate the killing of black men out of the city of Cleveland, out of Northeast Ohio. How do they do that? Press the issue about qualified immunity. First, stand with these brothers. If you don't stand with them, you're standing against them. So you're going to go to each one of our Instagram pages, you're going to go to your own Instagram page, and we're going to make this a new movement. If there's a councilman, if there's a judge who is out there that is not doing what we need for them to do, we will vote you out. So I need for you to understand that this is our directive. We're not marching for the rest of the year. Yeah, we're going to have some more marches, but this is the, yes, marching is good, but come on now. Our feet are tired. Our hearts are hurt. We need to make sure, and when you say no peace doesn't mean walking down the street and yelling. No peace means the councilman staying up late at night. No peace means, if you saw in the news, the Garcia Heights police chief couldn't get peace, so he quit. He left because he felt as if, I can't continue to do this job. We need, if Frank Jackson isn't going to do his job, we need for him to leave. Yes, sir. If Calvin Williams is not going to do his job, we need for him to leave. Hey, you know what? That was beautiful. We walked and we marched with the black police officers. We love you, brothers. But come on now. I don't want to start calling you. Listen, I don't want to start calling you out. But just like the other officers are talking about walking out, you need to walk out right now. Let's hold them accountable. Guess why? Because the man sitting next to you, one of your brothers in blue, killed one of us, killed one of you. You need to threaten to walk out unless Jose Garcia is charged. So I'm sure you've seen the news. The news recently, 4 officers in the city of Cleveland were fired, okay? They were fired for drinking on the job. So drinking on the job is a fireable offense. But killing an African-American male in our community is not. I'm going to keep bringing it so y'all understand. All right, because I sleep with this every night. Not only Desmond Franklin died, we have 91 other families, 91 other victims. I can name all their names.
As we were walking down the street, I texted my pastor, Dr. Vernon, and I said, this feels like family. So real quick, can we all say, we are family?
We are family.
Say it like you mean it.
We are family.
So quick story, I remember when I was younger, when I was younger, I used to go to my aunt's house every Sunday. And I used to hate going over there, but she had the biggest house, but she had the worst cooking. Right, so we used to go over there, man. We used to go over there, I swear, every single Sunday we used to go over there, and we used to eat this terrible food, man. And I used to hate it, man. But my mother used to tell me, man, we got to go over there. We don't really have a choice. So we would stay there, man. We would eat this food, man, and I would be disgusted, man. But at the end of the day, man, we ain't had no choice, so we did what we had to do. But then my mother, man, she would always take this to-go box. She would always take the to-go box, man, and we would take that to-go box back to the house. So the next day for like lunch and for dinner, I would see my mother in the kitchen, man. She would be chopping some stuff, adding some stuff, remixing some stuff. And I would ask my mother, I would say, man, what are you doing? You know, that food was already cooked. She'd give me like some French name to make it sound special, but I knew it was just leftovers. And she'd be in there doing her thing. To the point where when I sat down, man, that nasty stuff that I ate yesterday, it was great once you put it in the right hands. See, why is this important? See, I don't know what news outlet you're looking at. I don't know what you're reading. I don't know how you wake up on a consistent basis, but I know me, man, the TV, they're feeding me mess. They're telling me that the reason why it's okay to kill people that look like me is because of their past. Don't tell me how they live. I'm talking about how they die. See, don't tell me about how many mistakes they made, because we've all made mistakes, but they keep on feeding me mess, and they keep on feeding me mess, and they keep on feeding me mess. But I'm going to tell you something that I hope give you hope. In the hands of the right person, in the hands of this guy right here, in the hands of God, I'm telling you now, the next day when you wake up, that hot mess that we had yesterday is going to turn to something great. And all they got to keep on doing is adding a little, chopping a little, adding a little. And if it comes out to be more black people getting to vote, more people in office, more people not killed on the streets, somebody with the first name to start with a B, last name to start with a J, who's going to be the next mayor. I mean, I'm just talking. See, the reality is, if it comes back better, I'll suffer today so my kids can live good tomorrow. So don't worry about the mess you eating today. As long as we keep our hands to the plow, those leftovers going to taste great. As long as we keep on sticking together, because we are what? We are what? We are what? Bless you.
As we close, if you are a father and you have your son with you, man, bring your son close, your nephews close. There has been a consistent attack on black men, a castration of sense. When we got here, they literally would cut the genitals off of the man. Not only the physical sense, but the castration of black men did not stop when slavery ended. You know, the government assisted with that. Go down to Birmingham, go to Mississippi and Georgia and Tuskegee, the syphilis experiment. We can go on and on and on and on. What they have strived to do was to make you hate us. Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left us was alone. But who said that? Mama said. Mama said. What did the father say? What is his perspective? How did he view it? What does it feel like to be a black man in America? What does it feel like to not be able to protect your family? When government services tell you, we will help you only if you don't have a man in the house. Huh? The castration of black men, it never stopped. It continues today. So I say to my sisters, don't you help America with castrating your men. Don't help America do it. When you see young boys who will kill you if you just step on a foot. Emotional. They don't know how to be calm. So as a result of it, 75% of our community is being led by our sisters. Our sisters, I'm telling you, you've done a phenomenal job. You have been the backbone for our community. This ain't your fault. It ain't your fault. But damn it, it's time for the men to stand up. You ain't no man if you can stand and walk by and drive by and see somebody put a damn knee on the neck of someone else. Get out that damn car, brother. Don't you just record it. Get that officer off his neck, man. If you're a man, brother. See, if you are afraid to die, you can't be no man. Because if you are afraid to die, then you are not preparing your family for your demise. You see, you and I must live long after we die. We have to live long after we die. But when it's time for battle, your women want to see strength, brother. You can't say, well, I'm not going to go to war because, baby, I love you. She will never respect you, brother. Never respect you. She's going to respect a man who is willing to die, because if you are willing to die for what you believe in, then that's when you can live. But you can't live if you ain't afraid to die, brother. Until we stand up, not just against officers who are brutalizing us, but also when it comes to these youngins in the neighborhood. There got to be a code of conduct, brother. You can't continue to slaughter our young girls. You can't continue to shoot into the homes of our grandparents. You can't do it. Not without retribution. You ain't hear me, man. Not without retribution, brother. See, I'm looking in the crowd, man. I invited some of my youngins, man, from the streets over here, man. I'm telling you right now, it's a green light. Can't nobody goddamn rape our daughters and our girls, man. Not without retribution. Can't nobody do that to us without retribution. Can't nobody kill our women without retribution. So what I'm saying to you, and until the men stand up, no, it's okay, it's okay. I want the cameras to listen to what I'm saying. Because I'm not here as a councilman, I'm here as a black man. I'm here as a father who is willing to die for what I believe in. And if me and my brothers are willing to die, then you know what we're willing to do. So what I'm saying to you and to me, This ain't no freaking mayoral campaign speech. I didn't come to politics to be here long, man. I'm not trying to be no career politician. If you know me as an activist, man. And I've been here and I've been doing this work. I don't care nothing about no election. Let me be crystal clear with you. As long as the history books say that we fought while we was here, that's the most important thing. Because I want my son to look and see a father and look to see a man. My brother, don't you want that, man? Don't you desire that, brother? Don't you desire for your children to see a man when they see their father? That's what we want our women to see. We want our women to see men. So this is what we're saying. We have 7 points that we're working on. Not just politically. It's going to take politics. It's going to take community organizations. It's going to take all of us working together. And guess what? Let me say this to you. We don't always have to agree. It's okay if we don't agree. That's the mercy of God. He created us all to be different. It's okay. So just because we don't agree, don't mean we have to be hateful to one another. We don't have to be hateful to you. Because I'm Muslim, I don't have to hate you because you're a Christian. Because I'm this and I'm that. They don't ask me if I'm Muslim. They see a black man. That's what you have to understand. So, well, we have 7 points. Number one, we are calling for the firing of the murder of Desmond Franklin. We want Hosea Garcia not only fired, but we want him charged for murder. That's what we want. Number two, we want to be able to charge all officers who are involved in these things. So, for example, if you and I see a crime and our friend created it, you know you could be arrested for being an accessory to crime. You know that. So why aren't police officers arrested for that? If you're a police officer and you see a crime being committed and you don't do nothing about it, you should be charged just like that officer that committed the crime. We want to eliminate qualified immunity for law enforcement officers. Number 3, we are calling for the independent investigations on all police-involved shootings. Police cannot police police, obviously. So we need to see outside investigators take up any case where there's police murders that take place. We want a stronger dedication to community-based policing. You can't police us if you don't know us. If you see that young black boy, if you are not culturally competent, you're going to take everything that he's doing as being aggressive. If you don't know him, but when you know him, you don't know. That's Lil Ray right there. You know what? You know he's autistic. He has some situations, so you got to be careful with him. So we want to see a stronger dedication from the administration for community-based policing. We want to create a publicly accessible database of local and national police misconduct. If you can go on the internet and see if an attorney or a doctor or a cosmetologist has done wrong, we should be able to pull up a police officer and see what they have done. They are public officers. We pay their salary. We should be able to see if they've done something wrong. We are demanding that there is a public review of the police union contract. Let me tell you something. The big issue in the city of Cleveland is not just administration, it is the police union, okay? The contract, it has to be changed. We must review it, and it must be a community input and approval before finalizing contracts. What I mean is, we need to look at that police union contract, and if they do not want to go with what we're saying, we are calling for defunding of the police. We want to defund the police, and we want to create a new police department that's going to be based upon what the community desires. And there must be an annual review of police force policy. So President Obama, he has something called the snowflake effect, which means that one person can reach 10 people. So even though we got 100, 200 people out here, right? 20 people each, that's 4,000. That's 4,000 people right there. We can make any part of the city 4,000 votes. Matter of fact, the city of Cleveland, 4,000 votes will change the whole election. All right? So that's how you'll do it. Number 2, making sure that people register to vote. Number 2, you got to show up to council meetings. They got to see you. Show up virtually, and when it's time, show up in person. Reach out. If you don't know who your council person is, that's a problem. If you don't know who your precinct committee people are, that's a problem. And if you don't know what that means, then that's a problem too. All right? So get involved politically. And what we're council members, me and Councilman Joe Jones, we give you our word that the 7 points that we talked about, we're going to bring this up every single committee meeting, every single meeting, and you're going to hear our voices. But our voices will continue to be weak if you're not standing with us. If you don't stand with us, you know what they're going to call us? 2 angry black men. That's what they're going to call us. Don't let them box us in like that. We need for you to stand with families who have been looking for justice and have not received it. God, we ask you to bless our brother, our attorney, Brother Stan Jackson, as he fights on behalf of those who have been treated like trash in this city for so long. God, we ask you to bless every single organization for us to work together. And that we may not agree all the time, but God, bless our hearts to be in the right place. And God, even though we may use different vehicles, it don't matter as long as we are going to the same destination. Oh God, we ask you to bless our hearts. Bless us to have the best of intentions. Purify our hearts. And God, you know, as activists and leaders, sometimes it can be a lonely road. But with you, God, as long as we have you on our side, we are free and we are good. Bless our sons and daughters who are out here, God. Bless them to never forget this moment. And when they become adults, bless them to continue to pass on the torch and to run their leg of the race, to fight for justice for our community. God, you know the struggles that each of us are dealing with. Some of us have financial issues, health issues, emotional issues, relationship issues. God, we ask you to heal our hearts because broken people, hurt people, tend to hurt people, oh God. So bless us to heal and to find healing in the trauma of being black or being conscious in America. James Baldwin said to be black and conscious in America is to be in constant rage, oh God. Oh God, heal our rage and bless America, oh God. Bless America to be what it had the potential to be. When it said it was original intentions to bring life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for all. Oh God, remove the spiritual need from the neck of black and brown people in this country, oh God. And oh God, we ask you to let this moment, never forget this moment, and remember us, God, and write us down as those who did not sit down, but for those who are willing to march, fight, and willing to die for the things that pleases you. We say all this in all of your amazing names. Amen. Amen. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Oh, bros, we're going to take a picture right here, man.
I'm about to go off. You know me. You know me.